All right, I think we're ready.
All right. So why don't we call to order the January meeting of the Economic Development Commission Governance and Governance Subcommittee, and let the record show that that there are 3 present.
And we didn't have any public comment.
Okay. Then I guess the sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was going to say, so our primary objective for this meeting is to discuss the commission priorities or proposed commission priorities list.
Yeah, so I think let's do the minutes first, just to get those out of the way, maybe.
Oh, sure.
Lane. And then I think we wanted to discuss the budget and then the work plan priorities.
Okay. All right.
So,
are there any changes to the minutes?
None for me. Nope.
Okay. Then all in favor of adopting those, say aye. Aye.
Aye. Do you need a motion in a subcommittee or no?
I probably dispense with it.
It's just good. Okay.
kind of a needless formality in my thinking, but so the next item is the budget then.
yeah, so I can just walk you guys through this. I developed this memo, and what I'll be doing is putting it, once I get feedback from you guys, in the EDC packet, which I hope to get out today. With the holiday and the 48-hour notice with virtual meetings, which sort of pushed a little bit in terms of timing, but it's all good. So, most of this, Lane, will look familiar to you, and Valessa and I actually had a chance offline to go over this a little bit last week. So we have included again the $40,000 to continue the consulting agreement with the partnership to provide economic development services. And then it kind of goes through, what we plan to do with, a couple of the ones that we've talked about with the EDC, the economic development website, which Kathleen has the lead in our office, reinstituting the business visits, continuing to work on the 4-town project, which it's kind of had a little bit of fits and starts, but we're hoping to get an intern to help quarterback some of those initiatives. One of the things that's really exciting, and I don't know if Steve mentioned it, is that we're partnering with UConn to do a series of 3 or so webinars for how you access UConn interns. I can't remember the other 2 are right now, but so Kara Workman, who is in the president's office, and she's one of the 3 steering committee members on the 4-town group. She really initiated this. So that's really an exciting thing. And I think it shows a good partnership. And we're doing it as a pilot, and we might, if it goes well, reach out to Eastern as well, and work with Eastern.
Mm-hmm.
So that's sort of the first piece. And then we have the continued implementation of the positioning and marketing plan. And probably the biggest piece there is completing completing the signage and wayfinding plan. So I think I might have told you all last time, we've hired MERS out of Westchester, Pennsylvania. We've had our kickoff meeting with them last week, and they'll come up hopefully the end of this month, do a tour of the town, and then meet with a couple of stakeholders then, and then probably do mostly virtual meetings. So certainly any input, and that's a little bit outside of this committee, but any input you have on stakeholders, we've kind of put them in a couple of buckets. So destinations, approving agencies, and then sort of the technical folks like DOT and DPW on the local side. So that's one piece, and I'll get back to that in a sec, but we're also planning to hire a media consultant to help with the promotion at about, I think, $5,000 to $7,000 to help promote Mansfield, trying to beef up our photography, and then finalizing that community calendar. That's fallen a little bit on the back burner, but Margaret's working hard to get that set, distribute the rest of our guides, and we're also planning a townwide spring event. Potentially, and it's not top secret, of course we're recording, but we're looking at sustainability as a theme possibly in April. So we're really excited about that. So it's a lot of different people from the town that are participating. So that's exciting. We may do a fall one too, depending on how things go. So the one thing that I wanted to mention to you both, when I prepped for the EDC meeting with Steve this week, and I briefly went over this with him, he did have a question about the implementation of the plan, the signage and wayfinding plan. So I asked MERS, even though they haven't started the project, just for an estimate, and the middle range is about 375,000 to 500,000. And that would be over, about a 5-year period, 4 to 5 year period. So this is more political in some ways, but strategy. Steve is concerned if we have is that too big an ask to sort of include under the umbrella of the EDC? And I haven't gotten to Taste of Mansfield, but that's sort of the $5,000 that's been put in to support their efforts. So I, wanted to see what you all think. I mean, I've already made the capital request and talked to the town manager, and it's a logical step. You do the plan and you implement the plan. But I know that was, and I don't know how strongly he feels about that, but he did have a concern about whether when the presentation is given to the council, it's like 40,000, 50,000, 100,000, 5,000. Does that feel too overwhelming?
Well, it's a significant bump up from those. I guess my question would be, who else would do it if it's not us? Yeah, I mean, I think it's sort of splitting hairs, honestly. Like I said, it's more of a strategy than anything else, because as I said, I've already submitted it, and Ryan told me to do it through Linda's budget. So it's through the planning and development budget, because the partnership, we don't have our own capital budget and we're not a town department. So, so it's already been, and presumably I would continue to be the project manager working with Derek Delay at the town as the town engineer. Probably the two of us would be the main folks working on it. We do have a steering committee that includes Derek, Jennifer Kaufman, who's senior planner, Kathleen in our office. We also have Sean Basington and Tracy Anderson from UConn, and Sean's the landscape architect. Tracy is very involved with branding at UConn, so they have great expertise. They just did the whole sign system, as you guys, I think, both know, about a year ago.
So the question is whether the EDC would continue to be involved, really.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the involvement.
Doesn't really sound like.
No, you go ahead, Lane.
I was going to say, it doesn't sound like we're really actually that involved. I mean, it's got its own steering committee that has folks from the town council and things on it. I guess it feels like we're supposed to be filling some sort of role, and I don't entirely know what that role is. I guess we're proposing it or something, but once we've done that, doesn't seem like we really have a continuing role in it.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty staff driven. And it's, it's not as direct as some other things like updating the economic development website, doing the business visits, doing things like that, which are much more direct economic development. I mean, the signage and wayfinding plan, I think those of us that have been involved think it's very important for the attractiveness of the community to businesses and residents, helping people to get around. I mean, we hear that from the downtown, where's the parking garage? And, we purposely put it behind the buildings and, it looks great, but some people can't find it. So, I mean, it's, it's definitely linked, but it's not as direct. This is economic development. So
Economic development adjacent.
Yeah, you could even call it, again, you're parsing words here, but community development. People use that term a lot, community development. So things like, obviously housing and the farm to families program that Taste of Mansfield's doing to help people that need, food and good food. And so it kind of comes over the whole economic community development, in my view.
Yeah, I mean, it seems it's exactly the sort of thing that a EDC in town can do that businesses aren't going to do individually. So I don't see any problem with a scoping issue, I know this is very near and dear to Steve, right? He's worked on it a lot. But other than that, I mean, it sounds like it's in good hands. So I don't know what, in terms of presenting it to the council, what's the best strategy.
Okay.
I defer to you all on that.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, it almost sounds like something we're supporting as opposed to proposing.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good way to put it, Lane. So maybe what I'll do is I'll take it into the bullet, put it into the bullet where it says complete the plan and begin implementation, and then indicate the amount. And this is, I mean, this piece isn't going into the actual PowerPoint. And then Steve and Kristen and I can kind of work it through and kind of make the final decision, because it will. So when Linda presents her budget, or I'm sorry, how this works. So departments will go to the council and present their budgets, which will probably be after the EDC does its presentation. And then there's usually a night for capital projects. So this will come up, I mean, if it gets past the town manager. So Ryan has to agree to it also. It would come up under the presentation or capital project. So it's not like we're losing the process. It's just whether it's sort of an EDC endorsed initiative.
Right. Yeah. And I think, and maybe what Steve was uneasy about is he doesn't want it necessarily associated with whatever our budget is, because our budget is so small and it's not, we don't want people to say, well, what is the EDC doing with the $375,000 we gave them for the signage thing? And we don't want to be the ones that are responsible for it.
Yeah, and I think it's a little sticker shock for him. He felt like that it will be for them. So again, it's so. All right, well, I'll kind of change that bullet a little bit to indicate it's really focused on the 50, which is consistent. Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that. They before I forget, I'm sorry, I'm going off on a couple of tangents. So then I'll report this to the EDC next week. So the council, Ryan again talked about the ARPA money at the council meeting Monday night, and they're still deliberating. So there's the thought that there would be kind of a work session. The council would have a work session on how to use the ARPA funds. And Ryan had asked me, for various examples on business relief. So I gave him a bunch of options, whether it's direct grants, whether it's helping property owners with to improve their tenant fit out space so that things are ready to go. There's also maybe personal property tax relief for businesses. So there's a bunch of options. So I'm hoping that session will be scheduled soon. I know he wanted to try to get this done before the budget, but it doesn't seem to be going that way. So we'll see. But I just wanted you guys to know kind of there is this additional money out there for businesses that he's proposing about 300,000 right now.
Okay.
Was there anything else on here that you thought should be changed or?
From my perspective, I've gone through it, and being fairly new to the committee, I think it looks good. But it's largely things that fell into place before I joined.
Okay, you all set, Lynn?
Yeah.
Or?
Yep. I had, going to sound really dumb, and this is the attorney in me. I had a typo somewhere, and now I'm trying to figure out.
No,
where
I love, hey, I'm typo woman myself, so I appreciate it.
There's like an errant period somewhere.
Okay.
Under economic development, staffing. Maybe it got fixed in this because I'm not sure.
There is a period
Oh, there it
under
is.
one of the bullets under accomplishments under
Yes.
positioning marketing.
Yeah, the update and improvement to database of all period businesses in Mansfield.
Oh, no, that
Oh, is
wasn't what
it?
I was talking about.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, yep, got it. I will change that. Thank you. All right, so I'll put that together after our meeting and for the EDC packet.
Good.
Going back to those webinars, do you know when they're scheduled for?
I think Kara wants to do them, sometime this semester, this spring. Well, everything's in their mind, I think, by semester. So, yeah. I think that's the goal.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, and it was her initiative, so it's really great. But I will let you guys know, we have that Yukon Town Framework meeting that Tony reports out. We have that meeting for this month on Tuesday. And that's one of the items Kara's going to talk about. So I should have Tony or I or Steve will have a report for you all at the EDC meeting on the 20th. So we may know better on the timing.
That sounds good. Fantastic. Okay.
So then the other thing, Lane, was just, so the work plan priorities, we really have kind of the two, I guess, the recruitment and then the budget priorities as the tasks for this group. You still there, Lane? Okay.
Yep. Just trying to figure out if they could have picked a worse person than me to be in charge of recruiting new members, but
well, we'll work on it as a team. I know
there you go.
I know Steve is, he's really done yeoman's work in trying to bring more people onto the EDC. I did have a conversation with someone who is new to town, similar to Valessa and her family. She's an interior designer and he's an architect. I just talked to them yesterday and I sort of started thinking, wondering whether they might be good. And I could talk to Steve about it, see what he thinks too.
How many slots do we have at the moment that are unfilled?
We have 3 unfilled. I'm
Oh.
pretty sure. Yeah, because it's, what was it? Steve, Lane, Anthony, Chiaku. Who am I forgetting? Oh, Kristen. Yeah, so we have the 2 of you, Steve, Anthony, Raji, Chiaku, and Kristen. And I know that Steve said he was gonna follow up with Anthony because he hasn't been at the last couple of meetings, so.
Mhm.
So there's three open seats. Okay.
Yes, yep. So I don't know if you have any thoughts, or if you think of some people to send them to me or Steve, because we won't meet again until April, so.
Okay. I'll have to think about it.
Yeah, and I can send the person, I can sort of propose that to Steve and see if he thinks I should pursue it with this new person. I don't know. I mean, she is a business, they're a home business in town,
Hmm.
fairly young couple, seem like go-getters, want to be involved. They just seem to not
Hmm.
to check off a couple of boxes.
Yeah,
So,
definitely. Yeah, no, the home business is interesting because I don't think we have anyone sort of representing that slot at the moment, do we? Or am I just,
no, I don't think so.
yeah,
Well, Valessa, but you're working from home, right? I guess.
Yeah, but it's not, I wouldn't call it a business in Mansfield. I agree that would be a really nice perspective.
Yeah. I'll email him and copy both of you on what I sent him. And I'll share their website too.
Do we have any requirements? I've been trying to figure this out generally for the town of Mansfield, what residency requirements there are. Yep, it would be a business in Mansfield, living in Mansfield, both.
You know, this question has come up before, and I don't know, Lane, if you remember, if we talked about at EDC about whether you have to be, I know I asked Sarah Ann, the town clerk,
hmm,
and I'm not sure you absolutely have to be a resident of Mansfield, but now I'll have to double check.
yeah, I don't recall either actually.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think if it's, I don't know that we put that in the bylaws, Lane.
I don't think we did. I'm trying to remember if it's in the enabling
Charter?
legislation that
Yeah,
allowed the EDCs to be created.
I don't think
Not-
it's in
I'm
that.
not sure that it is. I mean, ideally, it wouldn't matter as long as someone was involved in Mansfield. You know, if they lived in Coventry that had a business here or something like that, I think it would probably be all the same to us. But
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that you want somebody that, I guess maybe your point, Lane, that lives in Coventry and has a business in Coventry. That doesn't really serve the interest, but
yeah, that wouldn't quite fit it. But
let me double
they'd
check.
have to have some connection.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm trying to think. We haven't had that many people from Yukon on the EDC since I've been here, but the one or two that we did, I was trying to remember if they were also town residents.
yeah.
I just don't remember.
The chair of the School of Engineering, or the chair, the department, what are they called? Dean, excuse me. I think he was
Mhm.
on, right? Lane?
Oh, was
Chasm?
he? I don't.
Chasm? I think
Oh,
Chasm was on.
no, that may have been before my time.
Yeah, and it was before I was staffing the EDC, so and he does live in town.
Hmm.
I'm trying to think who else we had from Yukon. I know that when John McGuire was chair, he asked Sean Basington from Yukon if he wanted to be on the EDC. And Sean felt that wasn't the right role for him, you know, and I know there's sometimes, obviously, we've seen the push and pull sometimes between the town and Yukon, so on economic development. But maybe having someone there could continue to help that, you know, that tension or perceived tension. I know that.
I guess we should just.
I know Steve had reached out to the owner of Hops 44. And I don't know if he ever heard back from her. You know, a fairly new business, woman owner. So let me also ask him about that and see where that is. And the process that they go through is they download, just so you know, I'm not sure, Lane, if you know too, as well, but there's an application on the town website, and then it goes to Ryan, so it's Ryan's appointment.
Yep. That much I remembered.
Okay, I'll think about this some more. See if we can get some recommendations.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I'll know a lot more people once we get through COVID and I can put the kiddo in daycare.
I know, that's the thing. It's like, yeah, that is how you get to know people a lot, right?
How you meet people,
Families
yeah.
too. Yep.
It really is.
Ladies, your daughter, is she in the high school or she?
She is. She's a junior in college.
Oh, she is? I
She's
thought she
actually
was
about to-
younger for
yeah,
some
she's-
reason.
Nah, she's at Simmons and up in Boston. So
Oh,
actually, we need to take her back there this weekend, unfortunately. But
Yeah.
Junior, that's amazing. I can't imagine being on that end of this.
oh man, yeah, it goes by so fast. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Wild, yeah.
Did you know Valessa has a 1-year-old? I didn't know if you knew that, Lane.
No. What have you started looking at daycares? There's
Yeah, we did. We didn't get into child labs last year, so we're sitting tight. We're on the wait list for that, and then I want to go look at CCC, but they only take 18 and up. What?
Yeah, I was going to say CCC was going to be my recommendation.
Good.
It's a great place.
Good. I've been hearing that, and it seems very much my speed. So yeah, I just need him to be 18 months.
Right.
Not much I can do.
No, they actually fudged it a little bit for us when we moved back here. This was
Nice.
like in the late 90s, but but I would definitely talk to them because it may not be a totally hard and fast line. I don't know, maybe it is now, but it didn't used to be.
No, I think you're absolutely right, and I got that impression. I do think they want them walking, and this guy is in no hurry. He tried out walking and then decided it wasn't for him. So
yeah, he's doing it on his own schedule.
Yeah. Quick question while we're doing, where's your practice, Lane?
Physically, it's located in Hartford. We're in a building literally across the street from the XL Center downtown.
Oh, cool. Okay. That's awesome.
So we didn't have any communications unless you all have anything.
Mm-mm.
And I think the last thing is any future meeting topics.
Go ahead, Lane.
I was going to say I don't have any other than I guess continuing the recruitment thing.
And I don't think it falls under budget subcommittee, but we talked last time, Cynthia, about the Willimantic Restaurant Week.
Yes,
And
yes.
tying that in, and then also a little bit more understanding the Four Towns Initiative. I'd be interested in knowing more about that.
Okay. Put that down. So I can talk about the restaurant week right now, if you guys have time. Yeah, and update you because that is moving quickly. Actually, they're bringing over some packets today from Thread City Development. So that's the kind of Willimantic's downtown organization. And so we have about 10 or so restaurants that we're actively recruiting. We have 3 confirmed because they're on the planning committee, and that's Fenton River, Dogland Cafe, which is the same owner, and Gansett Wraps. So the date, which of course it's a little over a week, but it's going to be, might even actually be 2 weeks. even though we're just calling it Restaurant Week, we won't go there, but we're like, nobody knows any math. No, I'm kidding. So I think we're starting it the week of the 19th, February 19th, and I know it's ending on the 6th of March. So we're, once we get the website up, it might be up by the time of the EDC meeting. So I'll let you guys know. And, we're asking people to be creative, and we're giving them a lot of leeway in terms of what kind of specials they want to do. So I might have mentioned this kind of came out of some interest from the mayor and folks in the downtown in Willimantic, our mayor, to do some more coordination between Willimantic and Mansfield. So we thought about it being sort of downtown to downtown, but then we had Fenton River in there, and then so we decided it'd just be more fair to really focus on the entire town of Mansfield. So, there'll be people that we will recruit, like Kathmandu Kitchen, Aladdin, Red Rock. I think Red Rock's on there. Hops 44. So we're hoping, it's a small fee. I want to say it's like $100. So we're hoping people will sign up. I think the deadline's the 4th. And yeah, so it's kind of a pilot. And so we'll see how it goes.
Who owns Fresh Fork? Do you know?
They're on the list, I'm pretty sure. Matthew Tetralo?
Okay.
Tetraulet. I can get that to you if you want me to, Melissa.
They're very active on social media and other platforms, which makes me think they might be inclined.
Yeah. Yep. I'm pretty sure they're on the list. Yeah, I just spoke to him yesterday, actually. Yeah, just so, and another thing, I'm sorry, going off topic a little bit. So the reason why I spoke to him is because the town is doing their second round of test kits. So the first one was January 3rd, where they had the thing at the middle school. So the second round is focused on vulnerable populations, but they're also looking to distribute to grocery stores and some businesses. So we did a random, because there's not enough for all of them. So we did a random sort of about 16 businesses to get some kits for their employees as needed. They will get them and then they'll give them out, we hope, as needed. That's the direction the governor wants people to go in. Just if you're healthy and you haven't been in contact with someone, the goal is not necessarily to take it so that you're saving it for when you might have some symptoms. And so anyway, but I spoke to him yesterday, and so I think that I think they're on the list.
Great.
Did you want to talk about the 4-town too, Valessa?
Before we do that, I'm just curious, what sort of promotion on the Restaurant Week stuff is going to happen?
So there's going to be a website that's supposed to be, and I have to apologize, first of all, it's been a crazy week here. So I sound like I don't have all the information. It's because I've been focusing on about 20 things. So well, there'll be probably a press release probably next week. There will be a website, which will also, it'll be an independent website, but then we'll link it to the Downtown Stores website. Kathleen in our office will do social media on it. We'll have the signage, we'll have posters for the businesses to put in their windows. Trying to think what else. We are looking for sponsors too. So that's another piece of it as well. I think that this year we can cover most of the expenses with the fee that we're charging the businesses. So, and it is a tiered fee. So if you're a sit down restaurant, it's one fee. And then if you're more of a kind of takeout, not table service, it's it's less of a fee.
Mm-hmm.
So trying to be fair. So it's really, I think I told Valessa offline that Andrew Gutt is from Stone Row is the one who really started this in a conversation with me a couple of months ago, and it's evolved. And we have Barry Jesserin from Dog Lane and Cal from Ganza on the steering committee from Mansfield.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, I guess it seems like a particularly tough time to make the restaurant pitch, I guess, but you know, what can you do? I don't think you're ever
yeah,
gonna find a good time at the moment
you mean financially or with COVID?
with the COVID. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, especially with the Omicron and all that, but
Yeah, I guess my hope is, you know, what I keep reading is it is going down, not as quickly as probably we all hope, but I think the timing for the restaurateurs, you know, this is typically a slow time for them anyway. So kind of doing it in that February time period. And hopefully, you know, takeout's still a possibility too. So I think people want to help the businesses, but then there's also
oh, absolutely.
just
Yeah.
so it's hard, and you know, they're like everybody, their employees are being affected by COVID. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping we're through the peak by the end of February. So.
I hope so. I hope so. Gosh. On the Town, did you have some questions there, Valessa?
So I guess the question is what's the driving motivator behind that collaboration, and what funding is there for it?
So, I'm not sure if I mentioned this to you last time, but it kind of came together based on the actual towns, based on this group that had worked on this East Coast Greenway.
The Greenway, that's right. Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's the bike trail. Eastern Greenway something.
Oh, it's not the East Coast Greenway. Okay.
No, not the East Coast Greenway. No, sorry, it's not. But there is east and there's, I'm trying to think what the full name is. I didn't work on that project, but those were the towns that kind of came together, worked on a plan with the Capital Region Council of Governments in Hartford. And so we hired Advanced CT to fund the plan. And I'm trying to remember how much, I can't remember exactly how much that cost. The goal, so it's been a little bit piecemeal in terms of financial contribution. Mansfield's probably been less of a financial partner than the other three, to be honest. But Ryan has committed $5,000 out of the ARPA funds that would go toward this sort of quarterback that we're looking to steer us over the next year or two. And we're looking at a couple of options. So either the intern option, the master's in public administration and the UConn Hartford, they have a program there that we're looking at. Do you know that program, Lane? Do you guys? Oh, uh-oh.
We lost him.
Anyway, and hiring a consultant's another option too. And then we're also, so that would be for FY 22-23.
Okay.
In the interim, the other three towns have come up with some money. And one of the things that Advanced CT did that at the sort of like as an add-on a little bit was to develop a brand and a logo. But when we reviewed this, way back when, before COVID, none of the group or the stakeholders really liked what they came up with. So, but we've sort of been going, the four town, it doesn't have, you know, it's not too exciting. So that's the other thing that I'm working on, is to develop an RFP to try to get a consultant for about $8,000 to develop a logo with us, a brand, so that we can, you know, have this identity while we go forward with a regional calendar. We're also looking at a potential event to bring the four towns together. So, you know, come eat at Red Rock and then go walk the trail in Bolton, or go, you know, so that's one of the goals. So it's, I mean, I'll be perfectly blunt. We've been holding it together with obviously the steering group support, but it's just, the four of us are kind of flat out like everybody. So we really need someone to kind of help coordinate it, to give it some momentum and to make more things happen.
Makes sense. Okay.
So sorry, Lane, you on now?
Back.
Yeah, I came back in. I don't know why I dropped, but
Yeah, so I think, I'm sure there's other projects going on that I'm not thinking of right away, but the big one is that calendar. And I know Margaret's really wants to get that going, by spring. So
yeah, I think that'll be good.
anything else?
Not for me.
Nope.
Okay, I don't know if you want to just adjourn or motion to adjourn or.
I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you. So moved. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Stand adjourned.
All right, well, we'll see you next Thursday. And in the meantime, I'll check on the residency. I will send you all and Steve the information on the person from that company. And then just, yeah, if you have any other people that you want to forward on to me for the EDC, we can talk to Steve about it and talk to Ryan if it makes sense.
Okay.
The number you called me from, is that I'm going to save it. Is that an office number?
That's my cell phone,
Okay.
but I can give you my office.
Sure.
Either one's fine, Melissa, but the office is 860-429-2740.
2740. Perfect. Just so I know to answer.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Have a good weekend.
Thanks, everyone.
Take care.
You too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.